speaking of chemistry, bro, what do you think about Giannis and Dame's kind of relationship right now?
Yo, you know what? I have a nice bite from from Dame. Oh
Yeah,
my God. Like, honestly, right now, I don't know what's going on over there.
dude, I was surprised. These statements are usually made around like January, February, but this is way too soon. Way fucking too soon, bro.
Yo, to be honest with you, man, I just don't. This is the problem with players. I think the Bucks represent the last team where they let the superstars kind of build a team.
Yeah,
Yeah, because Lillard, I think Giannis liked Lillard when he saw him in Portland, right?
you
But
like the
then,
concept.
but then when he arrived, he was like, oh shit, I don't think this guy was ready. There's a reason why he stayed in Portland so long. There was a
Yeah,
reason why. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and I think he's learning that now, and he's
He's
learning
not a
that in real
dominant
time.
off-ball player. He needs the ball too much in his hands. The defensive liability. It's a lot of problems that come with a guy like Dame.
Yeah, and Dame never. You see, the thing is, when you're the guy, you don't have to box out. You don't. You
No,
never had to. You never had
you
to.
can take defensive plays out because like
Yeah,
they're expecting you to have the ball 99.9% of the game
yeah, and then you can miss a couple of shots or miss a couple of like defensive
because you're
cues.
getting like 20 plus attempts a game, right? So you can
Mm-hmm.
do whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but now that the fact that he's on a team where Giannis is handling the rock, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
It's
Giannis,
Giannis' organization for a
yeah,
decade now. Yeah,
yeah. Like so Dame actually spoke on their relationship, and right now, what is their record? They just, oh man, the Bucks, man, Jesus Christ, they're 1-3 to start off.
yeah.
So here's what Dame had to say about their relationship.
Me and him gotta be able to hold each other accountable, and I don't mean yelling at each other all the time, just mean like I gotta be able to say something to you. And you gotta be able to say something to me at all times. He's always had to put his foot down in Milwaukee and kind of lead the charge and be kind of like the man to push it forward. And I've always been that way in Portland. And I think now that we together, we both gotta look over and say, this a top 75 player too. And I gotta trust him to carry this with me. I think we both gotta do that. After that, we got a shot. We got a shot.
Damn, that last part didn't even sound believable.
Yeah,
He said we
nah,
got a
bro.
shot 2 times.
The thing is like, I think the thing is like when you have a personality, I don't think Dave never had a personality that demanding, and Giannis never needed a personality around him being demanding, right?
Mhm.
But now, like the idea of like Giannis giving up possessions is like kind of stupid, right? Especially to someone like Dame. So it doesn't make any sense. But I just think the fit itself is nasty, bro. Like I think even on paper, like sure, names wise is nice. But you look at Dame, Dame's never been an off-ball player. Like a guy like Steph works. A guy like Dame doesn't work because the fact he needs these shots, right, to be kind of dominant. But Giannis, he has more gravity to create for more people. We've seen that with Giannis, Drew Holiday, Bobby Portis, Brooke Lopez. They all have their best seasons with Giannis, like dominating the paint, demanding attention.
Mm-hmm. But
So you kind of need an off-ball guy. Like I think a lot of people kind of like the best example is like Shaq and Kobe. But the thing is, Kobe was such a good off-ball player that he didn't really need the rock
no,
to be
but
dominant.
but it also made sense for him to be off ball because the
Yeah,
gravity. Because if you look at some of these NBA final highlights with Shaq and Kobe, Kobe's
yeah,
shooting open jump shots, and you ask
yeah.
yourself why is that? Because that's how much people would double team, triple team Shaq. He demanded that type of defensive coverage, so it made
One
sense
hundred
to be an
percent.
off ball player.
Yeah, but
Never
I
in
think a
Kobe's
lot of
career, never in Kobe's
yeah,
career, he's taking open jump shots. You see him in the
no,
finals shooting open jump shots.
exactly. But I also think the problem with a lot of Damian Lillard, James Harden, that generation, they never had to learn playing off ball, right? And that reflects is when you have to play with another star that doesn't need to play off ball. He's the most dominating. The gravity is, for Damian Lillard, ideally it'd be better to be an off ball player. But at 31, do you expect him to become an off ball player? Hell no, you can't.
Can't, man.
Like
The
you,
habit's
you
already
gotta get
built in.
stuck.
It's built
And that's
in.
like I think one of our first talking points about Trey Young, this is one of the prime examples of like a Trae Young-esque player, you know? Where it's like, yeah, Portland, Atlanta, you're the man. People love you. You get talent like Nurkic, CJ McCollum, Aminu Al Farouk. These guys are like, yo, this is our guy. We die for this man. And it's cute, it's nice. But the fact is, when you go to a team that demands you to be like, all right, we're a contender, this is serious, what now? You have to sacrifice your game. But the thing is, Dame, what is he most talented on? Dribbling and creating separation. And so because of that, you can't thrive in a role like Atlanta, or you can't thrive in a role like Milwaukee, where you have a guy like Giannis who wants the ball in his hands, because like it doesn't take Giannis much to bully ball his way to a basket. Like
Wow.
yeah, imagine telling the top three player, "No, I got to get mine." Like imagine that, bro.
Yeah, and then he
Yeah.
doesn't even have the authority to try to get his. It's like
No,
what has Dame really done? Just scored a bunch of
nothing.
points.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Like that's why like a guy like Chris Middleton fits so well with the Giannis kind, because Chris Middleton's a great off-ball player, and like he'll have possessions where he just open because Giannis is just getting buckets and teams are forced to throw in another body, which puts Middleton in a position where he can get you baskets. You know, Drew Holiday, those guys. You need those kind of personalities around a guy like Giannis. I feel like people think big man car duo, like people think Shaq and Kobe, but the thing is, like those guys, the off-ball skills that Kobe had is what made Shaq and Kobe work. If your other guy does not have off-ball abilities and needs the ball to score, it's never gonna fucking work. I think that's why, like, one of those two have to make a sacrifice. Where I think we talked about LeBron and Anthony Davis earlier. Anthony Davis makes that sacrifice, right? Like we all agree on that, because Anthony Davis gets the ball to score. He doesn't get the ball to create. I think it's the same exact thing with Giannis and Dame. They're just an ugly version of Anthony Davis and LeBron and how they work.
Ooh, that's a great comparison. Ooh, that is. Oh, that you
They're
nailed
an
it right
ugly
on the
version.
head.
Yeah, because
Wow.
yeah,
And they have Doc Rivers. Oh, that's the icing on the cake. Ah,
yeah,
that's
and you know
that's
Doc's
some
not gonna be
nasty
able to make it
icing.
work because Doc wants to make everyone happy, right? Because this might be possibly like his last stint before he like fucks off to be commentator or ESPN personality. Eventually, get the jacket of Hall of Fame. So like for him, it's like, yo, I gotta make this shit work. But how do you tell a guy like Dame, right, 31 years old, that yo, you have to take like a back step and kind of work on an off-ball game? Because dude, it's easier to tell a 24-year-old to do it, but it's hard to tell someone who's like with Damian Lillard. He made it clear like, oh, we're both top 75 players of all time. So in his head, he's that fucking guy. So how are you gonna tell that fucking guy to be like, yo, take a step back?
Oh my god! And this is my issue with star players judging guys who play on teams, drop a bunch of points, but they stay consistently finishing as one of the worst defensive teams. They don't
Yeah.
really achieve anything. There's no expectation. And it's like the guy has been there his whole career. Everyone kept telling him, yo, Dame, are you going to die in Portland, man? When you going to leave? My man
When you're
never
in
left.
Miami, when you're going to LA.
Yeah, like how many years? Like
But
people was desperate. They was telling Dame to leave for like over 4 years. And he stayed there
yeah.
4 extra years,
After that 2019 conference finals run,
which was a
where
fake
Dame had to
run.
play in the bubble play-in tournament, ever since then it's like, yo, Dame, your team peaked last year. Like, move the fuck
No,
on, you
man,
know?
that's a false peak. Man, trust me when I say this, man.
Oh, that
What
2019 shit was bullshit.
Yeah, it was bullshit. And you know how you can
It
tell
was
it's
bullshit.
bullshit? The way Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson with that thin ass bench, no KD, just swept them
No
dudes like
KD.
nothing. Like nothing.
Exactly.
They swept them like
Exactly.
nothing, bro.
Nothing.
And
That was a
and
bullshit run.
yeah, that was a bullshit run. And their only victory was like their main victory
Thunder.
was against Westbrook. And everybody knows Westbrook led teams losing to Donovan Mitchell in the first round. They got some
Yeah.
bad
Oh,
losses
Paul George.
with Melo and Paul George. That's not a real
Yeah.
team. That was not a real
Yeah,
team.
exactly. That was not a real team, and the Nuggets were babies.
Yeah, so like, and this is my thing where sometimes some of the fan base don't realize a star that's really a star because they got the opportunity to chuck up all
Exactly.
those shots and
Yeah.
with no expectation. Like Dame has been living good. He's the man. There's no real expectation. No one goes like, yo, Dame, you ain't win this year. What happened? No, he averages points, gets to go Dame time, gets to rap at the same time, and there's no real expectation.
Gets his commercials.
Yeah, I think for the first time, Dame is realizing, oh, this superstar shit comes with an
It holds weight.
expectation. Yeah, there's
Because
an
like let's be
expectation.
honest, like in the 2010s, Dame is probably one of the bigger stars, right? Like no denying. But
Mhm.
there was more pressure on guys like James Harden to win.
Oh
Like
yeah, for
guys like
sure.
Paul George, guys like Kyrie Irving when he went to Celtics. A lot of guys had higher expectations of being that fucking guy. Where Dame never had that. Nobody thought, yo, Dame, like he needs to lead this team to a championship
Exactly.
tomorrow. Never. Never.
Exactly.
Like
No,
back then it was Rockets. Oh, Kyrie went to the Celtics. He needs to win a championship. Um fuck. Who else can I name? Paul George,
KD, wherever KD went. KD with
wherever
Westbrook.
Kevin Durant went.
With
Paul George went to
Westbrook.
Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay, you need to win now.
Nah, he didn't have it as much. He didn't have it as much.
No, he didn't have it as much.
Jason
but,
Tatum,
he had it more than
I can make an argument.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum being young had a higher expectation to win a championship than Damian Lillard has ever had.
Oh, especially in 2002 when he went to the finals for the first time.
Yeah, not even that. Way before that, since the bubble, since the bubble season, I can make an argument. Jason Tatum being way younger had higher expectations. Had way higher expectations. Matter of fact, Jason Tatum that year that Kyrie made his return after they went to the conference finals the year before versus LeBron without Kyrie, the next year after that, they had huge expectations and they were super young. Dame has never even tasted that type of level of expectation.
I forgot. Chris Paul also had those expectations.
Yeah, Chris Paul has also. Dwight Howard has had
Dwight Howard.
Dwayne
I think
Wade,
healthy
like
Blake Griffin did, but like people just kind of gave up on Blake later on.
And that was my issue with the NBA 75. I was like, why is Dame there?
Yeah,
I remember I was asking. I was like, he's not 75, bro.
Maybe 100, and that's me being nice.
Yeah, it's just like, yo, the guys that are 75. I mean, there were some guys that shouldn't have been there either. But I'm not gonna say their names, but they shouldn't. 75 is when you have those some sort of expectation on you. A lot of role men that were on teams with huge expectations should have been at that 75. Not some of the guys who were the 1As who scored nothing but points and never got past the second round. They should have never been there.
You remember, I think it was Dame used to cry about not being selected in the All-Star games at one point.
Yeah, it's just Dame. You was in the bubble, man, with a rookie Ja Morant fighting to get into the playoffs. You remember Dame in the bubble?
Yeah.
Like, yo, after making the Western Conference Finals, why are you fighting like that just to barely make it into the play-in?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy, bro.
With the same exact roster, too.
Yeah, and then he's talking about, like, oh, I'm not going to leave Portland. I'm not escaping the grind. It's like, bro, are you serious?
You don't want to face the grind.
Yeah. Like,
and it's showing. Like, this statement, right? It's a bad look statement because, like, you haven't achieved shit. So for you to be this all, like, kind of like, oh, the whole leader of the Milwaukee Bucks is bullshit. This is, you are a guest. You have been welcomed. This is Giannis' home. He's made this to a championship organization.
Yep.
Like, shit, even if Chris Middleton made that statement, I wouldn't be angry. I'd be like, I get it.
Yeah, Dame has always... There's a few teams in the NBA where you get away with being a star with no expectation. When you're the star of the Toronto Raptors. And that's no slight to them. When you're the star of the Portland Trailblazers. When you're the star of the Pelicans.
Wizards.
Yeah, the Wizards. When you're the star of the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah.
There's no real expectation, brother. Even when you're the stars of the Grizzlies. There's no real expectation. Y'all don't have the history.
Even Marc Gasol had more expectations than fucking Damian Lillard.
Yeah, like there's no history. Some of these, like, I don't know, man. Yeah. Dame right now, we're seeing the real Dame. We're seeing the real Dame.
So too.
And it's crazy. I've been calling it out since he arrived in Milwaukee. I was like, man, I don't think Giannis understands. Like, yo, bro, this guy has been killing it with no expectation. He's had your title with no expectation. Meanwhile, everyone's asking him, like, yo, Giannis, are you going to win the big one? Like, you had expectations the whole time.
Oh, Giannis, the fucking wall, fraud MVP, all that bullshit, bro. All that bullshit he was thrown at.
Yeah.
Oh, James Harden should have won it. This guy should have won it.
James Harden even coming up against him, talking about, I got, like, oh, he has no skill or whatever slight he made at him.
Yeah, like even that championship run, it was Brooklyn Nets. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
They don't got it. It's Brooklyn.
Yup, and then he came through. KD might have had his foot on the line, but hey, Giannis still came through big. But at the end of the day, you could tell like when other superstars hate on you is because they can see like you're going up levels. If you look at Dame, everybody loved Dame because Dame is not a threat.
No, Dame's fun.
Yeah, everybody loved Dame. Dame is, man, I don't want to say this. This shit is harsh. Dame is like the Vince Carter of this era, man. Dame is like the Vince Carter. Yeah, Dame is like the Vince Carter of this era, man.
No, he'll get a Hall of Fame, bro. But like, Damian Lillard will be remembered like exactly like Vince. Like when we talk about the 2000s, you're not bringing up Vince. You're bringing up Kobe. You're bringing up Wade.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Everyone knows he had great moments, but it's like, it's like, damn, man. It's like when it came to the big one.
No, like we never like expected him to win shit.
Yeah, it's like, man, no, it's not even like you didn't expect him. It's like, in a way, this sort of ducking. There's like a question mark. Are they ducking the smoke? Yeah. Are they ducking the smoke?
No, you're ducking the smoke. But the thing is, you're able to make young, gullible fans like the loyalty. Like you're able to dupe them into it. Yeah,
it's man, shit gonna get interesting in Milwaukee, especially with Doc Rivers, stubborn ass, man. Like Doc Rivers.
Next is Giannis leaving.
Yeah, man, I see Doc Rivers imploding before anything.
Yeah,
he just
he's leaving, bro. You know,
this shit nasty.
Thinking about this. I was thinking about this yesterday since we're talking about Doc. You never fire a coach if you don't have a backup coach. The Bucks, Mike Budenholzer had a lot of faults, but he still led the team to a championship. If you can't get like a Nick Nurse or someone better, there's no point in replacing that coach. And I think that's what showed with the Milwaukee Bucks' reactionary decision of firing Mike Budenholzer.
Yeah. It's just...
So I'm not saying Mike is some genius. I'm saying Mike is probably like one of the better coaches they could have kept.
No, but also here's another thing. They've allowed, remember, the previous owner for the Bucks was selling the team. Giannis wasn't a lock to stay with the team yet. So they got the coach that Giannis wanted. They got Dame, and then Giannis re-signed. People forget about that part. Like I said, Giannis, he represents the last of the superstars who actually try to build a team. Remember how everyone said LeBron makes his decisions? There's been too many superstars after LeBron, like, kind of been known of doing that. They try to imitate him, and it's failed. It's failed for most of them. It's actually failed for all of them, even KD. It's failed for all of them. You can't do that. The only time it really was successful for LeBron was when he went to Miami, where Pat Riley called the shots. It wasn't LeBron calling the shots.
Even this Rob Pelinka shit barely works.
Everywhere else LeBron went, it hasn't worked. In Cleveland, the reason why it worked, it was a miracle. Draymond suspension, Game 7, all types of, like, Stephen Curry completely fucking up,
shitting their pants.
The Warriors center getting injured. It took a shit ton of like things to happen, bro. Same thing for the
Richard Jefferson somehow like
came out of nowhere
too.
And then in LA, it took a pandemic. It took the Clippers, the way they was rolling into the playoffs, sheesh. They was on it, and then the pandemic happened. Nobody took it serious.
Yeah, and the Lakers were able to.
It's like, man, come on, man. LeBron's way of doing shit, it's only been proven to work in Miami, but it wasn't even him calling the shots. He went. He had no choice but to listen to the man with like what he probably had like 7 rings before LeBron got there. Like Pat Riley already has success.
I mean, he won the organization a championship before LeBron got there, so LeBron didn't have a say regardless.
Yeah, but Pat was a championship coach since the 80s with the Lakers.
The Lakers, the 5 championships, and then you got the 6 with the.
Yeah, so it's like LeBron can't really tell him anything. LeBron went there to learn from that man.
And Pat had success in Miami, New York. He had success everywhere he went.